Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm reviewing One Night in Miami. So One Night in Miami is actually based on a stage play, and it is a fictionalized idea of some of the major characters in the early civil rights movement meeting. One night in Miami, you have Cassius Clay, or Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, Jim Brown, a lot of influential characters at the time, and maybe what their conversations would have been like around race relations and their idea of the Black Power movement. And I have to say, as Regina King's directorial debut, she knocked it out of the park. This movie is excellently crafted. You get some of the best performance of the year, in my opinion, from this movie. And just the overall production design and the concept of the film is so captivating. It's so interesting. While it is fictionalized, it leans on some really important characters, like I said, in African American history and maybe how they would have thought about things. And it feels so topical because you're seeing these people on the top of their industry and how they should react and how they should feel about certain things and if they should speak out or they should be quiet and how that would affect their careers. And you see that play out every day. You see different major figures in athletics and entertainment, and maybe they get some pushback for some of the things they say. You could be, LeBron James or someone like that. And you really feel that this is something that's progressed since even back in the 60s. And for someone who's a big history fan like me, you do get some really solid production design. You feel like you're back in 1964, and you get some really great performances that replicate some historical events, like Muhammad Ali's fight or Sam Cooke's performances. And speaking of the Sam Cooke performances, Leslie Odom Jr. is a phenomenal singer. If you haven't seen Hamilton, check that out because he's amazing in it. And he's also amazing in this movie, being able to replicate that in someone who is struggling with their own personal journey, because you watch it and you just think maybe he's cast to just sing, and he's a great singer, but he's a great actor too, and he has some nuanced performances in it. You also have him struggling with his own identity as a super successful African American man and what comes along with that. And I thought that Aldous Hodge's Jim Brown was one of the best standouts in this movie. While he doesn't necessarily have as much screen time as some of the other characters, understanding how he feels and him walking away from the NFL, not wanting to be used by the system. He wants to be his own boss. And you really do understand that. You understand how all these people are coming about their own success. Cassius Clay becoming Muslim and then becoming Muhammad Ali. You get some really big moments in history and maybe some thought process of what have happened behind the scenes when it comes to those things. And I really do think it's an interesting watch. For someone who hasn't any reference for that point in history, it's a good stepping stone. While it is fictionalized, it does focus, like I said, on these characters, and their performances are uncanny. There are times where I'm watching these guys on screen and you really do feel these characters come off the screen. You feel like they are the real life performances, and that's just a testament to the writing and direction and acting by everyone involved. You get the paranoia that Malcolm X would have experienced in the days leading up into his death. You have the cocky arrogance of Cassius Clay and his over-the-top, larger-than-life persona that encapsulate who he was and captivated the world with his athleticism. You have Jim Brown not really being able to break the color boundary and him being up against that wall. And it starts off with a conversation with him that really sets the tone of why these things are important even today. But like I said, the thing that really stands out in the film, because a lot of it is taking place over the course of one night, one long conversation, these conflicts back and forth between these big figures in history, you get into the look of how African Americans in power, in positions of influence, think that they should react and how they could react. And just those conversations are enthralling. While they may be fictionalized and a lot of this may have never happened, obviously, you do get to see the real case study and how things would have played out and how maybe things could play out in the future. So if I were to rate this movie, I would actually give it a 9 out of 10. Really well done on every possible aspect. I think the direction was really solid. I think the costuming and production design really showcased that era, that time period. It felt like I was thrown back into the 1960s, and I'm seeing these big, larger-than-life characters and these historical events play out in a way that I've never seen on screen before. I think the acting, really well done by everyone involved. I can't even think of one in particular role that was better than the others. They were all fantastic, and they really do embody the historical characters that they're playing. And like I said, the overall writing of this movie really does accomplish what it sets out to do. While it is fictionalized, it talks about the roles of these people and continues to understand the roles of people in power and their ideas of what they should do to influence the world around them. So if you checked out this movie, or are you planning on checking out this movie, let me know. Let me know what you thought about it in those comments down below. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.